Greetings. Today we're going to be discussing what is a high school transcript and what does it have to do with you preparing for getting into college. A high school transcript outlines every class that you've taken in high school. It also outlines the number of classes that you've taken not at your high school. So if you've taken any junior college courses or classes at a four-year institution, those will be on your high school transcripts. If they're not, you want to immediately go meet with your high school counselor and go request for those to be put in. But when you go and meet with them, make sure you have a copy of your transcript so that they can just input them there so they don't have to request them from the school. This will save you a little bit of time. Outside of having a list of all the classes that you've taken in high school, it is also going to have the grades that you received. These grades are going to be huge because it's going to go directly towards your grade point average, your GPA. And you're going to hear a lot more about that later in this video. On your transcript, you're also going to have something called the total number of credits. Your total number of credits is going to be huge when discussing high school or getting out of high school. Most colleges do not care anything about the number of credits that you have taken. To get into their institutions, for the most part, you have to be on track to graduate, and before they fully give you your acceptance, you have to graduate it from that institution. So the total number of credits really only matter at the high school level. That's going to determine, are you progressing at the rate that you should from one grade level to the next. You also need to have a strong understanding of the graduation requirements so you know how many credits do you need to graduate, and are you currently on track to graduate on time? Huge. And we're moving towards the most important part of the transcript, which is your grade point average. Your grade point average is the average of all the grades that you received. All the grades that you received are given a numerical average or a numerical value. That numerical value is put into the average. The average is done and you're given a GPA. A lot of students understand the GPA. The GPA ranks from usually a 0 to a 4.0. This GPA is going to be used to evaluate you according to the rest of your peers, your classmates, as well as the rest of the students in your grade level in the state or country. The college is going to look at your GPA as well as your test scores, but they're going to start at that GPA because that tells how much you try. Test scores show how much you know, and it's not too much you could do about that. But your transcript tells how hard did you try throughout high school, how much effort did you give, what classes did you take to push yourself to the limit? Did you do everything possible to make sure that you know as much going into college as possible? And this is why your transcript is so important, and to me, way more important than any test scores. Test scores dictate what you know. And you can study for that, but essentially, what you know is what you know, and studying for it, it doesn't show effort. You can put in all the effort in the world, and you can still do, and you can bomb a test, or you can not try that hard and go in there and ace a test. We've all done it both ways. I think your transcript is huge because it's going to show effort. It will show effort. Do you get A's and B's in classes? Do you get A's in classes that you definitely should pass, like your elective courses? When you're not pressed to the max, do you take additional classes when you feel that you need more education? Do you take classes at colleges and things of that nature? So your transcript is going to be huge, and we all need to make sure that we're doing everything possible to make our transcript look as good as possible. If it's not where you want it to be at, or you're thinking like, man, like I know going in, I want to look at some colleges that may be a little bit above where my GPA is right now. What can I do? Immediately set up a meeting with your counselor. Immediately set up a meeting with your counselor and work out a plan of action to get your GPA where it needs to be so you could be competitive with other institutions. This word competitive is huge because most colleges don't have a specific GPA and test score where you're automatically in. What they say is that a certain GPA and a certain test score makes you competitive. Competitive meaning according to whatever the rest of the students coming out that year is. It can make you competitive to compete with these individuals. And thank you. If you have any other further questions, please feel free to come and ask me. Schedule a meeting if you have any questions about your transcript.